once again, my name is Esther Park. I'm a senior support engineer. Today's webinar Wednesday is titled In Search of the Perfect Install, SolidWorks Installation Tips and Troubleshooting. Today we'll go over how to download installation files. We'll go over the installation and activation process. We'll give you some tips on how to contact technical support in case of any installation errors or problems. And we'll also go over some common issues seen after a new installation of SolidWorks. So to download the installation files from the customer portal, you need to go to the SolidWorks website, just www.solidworks.com. And once you select the login button from the website, you will get to the login page. So there's three options: the customers, partners, and resellers. Make sure you go ahead and select the login option for the customer portal. Now, if you don't have a account, what you can do is just create a new one. It is free for all users. However, if you do need to access the downloads and updates section, you will need a up-to-date serial number. Once you log in, you may see that your options are locked. So if that's the case, you do need to register your SolidWorks serial number and register the latest version of SolidWorks. To do that, all you would need to do is select the Register My Products option. Once you select that, you'll be sent to the next page, which is a section where you're allowed to add in your serial number. Make sure the serial number does not have any spaces. Once you add that, select Next, and you'll be asked to add a version. Now, you don't want to type in the version, although you can type in that section. You don't want to type it. You want to instead click on the little checkbox button, and it'll bring up this pop-up window, and it'll give you a list of all the SolidWorks versions that you've ever had. So if you purchased SolidWorks in 2012, it'll list from 2012 to the latest version, which is 2017. And sometimes your list can be very long. So if that's the case, make sure to just select the arrow button by the number page. So over here, just select that arrow button. And to make the selection for your version of SolidWorks, just select the arrow button that's pointing to that row. And make sure it is the 2017 version or the latest version that's out. Even if you're not planning to use that version, you just need to register the latest version so you'll have access to those locked areas. Once you unlock that, once you register your products, then your options will be unlocked, and you'll get access to the downloads and updates option. Now, I'll bring you up to the downloads and updates page. So this is what it looks like. And once you have access here, you can select the downloads and updates. And that is a link, so it'll bring you up to this page here. Now make sure to select the correct version. You have a couple of versions here. If you don't see a version that you want, say you want 2012 for some reason, if you don't see it here, just contact us at the technical support department, and we can provide you with that. But if not, go ahead. We'll select 2017, and you want to find out which service pack you want. So make sure it's the latest service pack, and just select the SolidWorks products option for that row. So look at your user license agreement and just select accept agreement and continue. And if you're using Internet Explorer, it should automatically start the download. If it doesn't automatically start the download, just select this download button, and it'll download to probably your download section in your hard drive. So that's done. And before you start your installation process, make sure to log into your computer as the administrator, and make sure to turn off all antivirus software and set your user account control settings to never notify. To set your user account controls to never notify, all you have to do is search UAC on your Windows search program. So I'll bring up my next screen here. All you need to do is select the Windows Start button, select UAC, and you'll have this change user account control settings option. Go ahead and select that and set that slider to never notify. If it's not already set to never notify, you will be asked to reboot your computer. So just keep that in mind. And we'll go back to our other screen here. And so once you've done that, go ahead, go back to that download section and double click on that SolidWorks setup.exe. This will launch the WinZip self-extractor. And remember where you're going to unzip that those files to. So you can set this unzip to folder to a specified location if you don't want it to go to your regular downloads folder. And then once you've done that, select unzip. It'll bring and go back to that location, that unzip to folder location, and double click on the setup.exe. This should bring up the installation manager. Now, once you have that up, select individual, enter your serial numbers and any products that you need. Select next, and the next page will bring you to the system check page. Now, these are just warnings. So when I was running my installation manager, I had SolidWorks up as well. So these are just warnings letting you know, hey, you have to do these things before you start your installation. So this, for instance, here, it's letting me know I have a process running and I need to close it before I start my install. And I'll select next. And this option, it asks you if you want to create a new installation or upgrade a previous major release to the newest version. Now, I'll go ahead and select create a new installation of SolidWorks 2017 SP3. But if you do choose to use upgrade a previous major release to SolidWorks 2017, keep in mind it's only recommended for the previous year version. So we would only recommend you upgrade from 2016 to 2017. Jumping for 2014 to 2017 is not recommended, and we highly don't recommend that. So select next. It'll bring you up to the summary page. In the summary page, you can pick and choose what product you want to install or uninstall. So if I select the change option next to product, it'll bring me up to this product selection page. I can unselect things that I don't want to install and select things that I do want to install. But if I notice that I don't see some of my add-ins available, choose the select different packages or products link. Once you select that link, it'll bring up this pop-up window and it'll allow you to choose products that your serial number didn't bring up. So if you select premium, it'll show the premium products and you can specify to install them. Once we go back to the summary page, we'll take a look at the downloads option. We'll select change here, and we have several options for the download options. We have the download and install, download only, and install only. In our case, we'll do the download and install since we don't have the installation files. But say you wanted to take the installation files, put them on a flash drive, and give it to your neighbor. Then you can select the download only option, and that'll only download the installation file set so that everybody in your office can use them if you give it to them. There's also the install only option. So if you receive the installation files from a disk, a flash drive, or even from Oakridge Systems technical support, and say we gave you a link with the full installation file set, then you want to use the install only option. And by default, the SolidWorks files will go to your document section. And you can always specify this to a different location as well. So if you select browse here, you can specify those required files to another location. And we highly recommend to disable the use the background downloader for future service packs off. If you leave this on, what happens sometimes is if you have a bad network connection and you're downloading the files through the background downloader, then you can end up with corrupt installation file sets. So we recommend that you disable that option. Now, if we go back to the summary page, there are the option, the installation location. SolidWorks will set that by default to the SolidWorks Corp folder. And if you have multiple installations of SolidWorks on your system, you may end up with SolidWorks Corp parentheses 2 folder or 3 even. So what we like to do is we like to change that option. So we'll select the change option, and once we're at the next page, we select the browse option, and it'll bring up this pop-up window. And we want to specify the year of the version for the SolidWorks Corp folder. So in our case, it'll say C program file SolidWorks Corp, but then we'll add the 2017 extension. Once we select OK, it will update that file path to C program file SolidWorks Corp 2017. So if you have multiple installations of SolidWorks, this prevents any confusion. We'll go back to summary, and we'll look at the toolbox / full wizard options installation location. This will also do something similar as that SolidWorks Corp folder. We want to select change, and we have the opportunity to change the name of that SolidWorks data folder if we select browse. We can also add that 2017 extension so that it'll read SolidWorks data 2017. If you have multiple installations of SolidWorks, again, if you don't change this, the name of the folder, you might end up with a folder named SolidWorks data parentheses 2, and we won't know what version it correlates to if you have multiple SolidWorks data folders. So just specifying the year organizes it a little bit better. So we'll go back, and there's this use an existing SolidWorks toolbox option. So if you decide that you want to upgrade from 2016 to 2017, you can use your existing SolidWorks toolbox database. So if you've made any customizations to that toolbox in 2016 and you want to bring it to 2017, this is the option you want to use. So use an existing SolidWorks toolbox. There's also upgrade a copy of your 2016 toolbox data option here. If you check that on, what this will do is it'll leave your SolidWorks data 2016 folder, and then it'll make a copy of that folder and upgrade it to 2017. So if you select browse here, a pop-up window will come up, and you can just add a folder location for the upgraded copy of the toolbox. So once you go back to the summary page and everything looks, how you want it, all you need to do is select I accept the terms of the SolidWorks, select download and install. Now this is only for network serial numbers. If you have a network serial number, you'll be asked to add a port number and a server name. So the port number by default for SolidWorks is 25734, but that is editable, but usually most people leave it as 25734. Once you add that, just put @ and then your server name and select OK. Then once the download starts, it'll finish and ask you to start the installation process, and this is basically what it'll look like once it starts installing. And once the installation finishes, you'll be asked to join the SolidWorks Customer Experience Improvement Program. You can select no, But if you do select yes, what gets sent to SolidWorks is any crash logs that occur if you have any crashes that occur while you're using SolidWorks. So if you tend to get a lot of crashing with your SolidWorks, you can always join this, and the crash logs will automatically get sent to SolidWorks. And if you create a ticket with the technical support, we can let them know, hey, you guys have the crash logs, so take a look at them as well. So that's one way to help us troubleshoot any performance issues that you may be having. So once you finish the installation, what occurs is, so once you finish the installation and you open up SolidWorks, what happens is the activation wizard will come up. You'll be asked to activate SolidWorks. So I'll bring up that activation wizard. And there's two ways to activate SolidWorks. You can either activate automatically over the internet or manually via email. So if you decide to activate automatically over the internet, you can select all the options, add in your email, select next, and it'll go through the activation process for each of the products. And it's pretty quick. Once that's done, you'll see this activation reactivation succeeded message. And I'll show you guys the second option, which is to activate manually via email. Now, if you choose this option, you can only activate one product at a time. So if I decide to select all, you'll get an error message saying you have to only do one item for the manual activation. So I'll deselect all of the choices and I'll just select SolidWorks. I'll select next. And with the manual activation, users who don't have internet on their computer tend to use this option. So what you would do is you would save out this request file and email it to activation@SolidWorks. And what happens after is they'll send you back an email with a text file attached. You would download the text file, you would start up SolidWorks again, select the manual activation option, and then you would select this open option and you would browse to the text file that they send you. Now, I don't have that text file, so he saw that error message, but this process does take longer than activating it over the internet. So just keep that in mind. It may take a couple of hours. So when you do decide to save out a request file to send to SolidWorks, make sure you don't edit the file name. This name is specific to your license and your system, so editing it will cause delays in receiving that text file back from SolidWorks. So just keep that in mind. We'll just cancel this here. And if you do run into any technical issues, any installation errors, or any problems, just feel free to contact technical support. Oh, you can contact us by calling us by phone. This is the number we have for USA and Canada. And to reach technical support, just dial 1. And you do have to dial a subsequent number to reach the specific category that you need assistance in. But just dial 1, and if it is an installation issue, then just dial 1 again, and you'll speak to one of our agents who deal with installation issues. Now, you can also email us at support@hawkridgesys.com or use our ticketing system. So if you do send us emails, a ticket automatically gets created from within our ticketing system. So just keep that in mind. You can use either or if you do use one of the options. And we also even have a chat system available on our website. And I'll show you guys these interfaces after we discuss, or while we discuss some of the common issues we have during installation or after a new installation. So if you do run into an installation error, make sure to save those logs. So this is what you'll see after an installation error. You'll probably see this message, a message something like this, asking you to save the logs for support. Now, if you don't save those logs for support and you accidentally close this out and forget to save them somewhere on your system, I'll show you guys how to access that page. So let me show you guys my other screen. So to access that location, just select your Windows search bar or search button, and then go to your search bar, type in %app data %, all one word, and I'll bring up this roaming folder. Once you select the roaming folder, go to SolidWorks. You'll have other folder versions as well, but you want to make sure you're just selecting the one that says SolidWorks. And go to installation logs. Now, if I go to my 2017 SP3 version, you'll see I have some. You'll see that I have some installation logs now. If I go back to the installation logs, I can zip this up, and you'll want to send these to technical support. So I'll show you guys how you guys can quickly send this over to technical support. I'll bring up our web page. So you can use our ticketing system to quickly send it. You can also email us. So you can just attach that zip file to an email and send it over to support@hawkridgesys.com, or you can use our emailing site. You go to our page, hawkridgesys.com, go to support, select support login, select the login to support option, and it'll bring you up to this page. Now, if you've ever emailed us before, you will have an account. Just select get a password option, and it will send you an email asking you to update your password, and just update it that way. If you don't already have an account, just select the sign up option, and you can quickly generate one. Okay, so once I'm logged in, I can just select attach file. I can add in a subject line. And once I start typing, it will give me some suggestions on articles, but I can just ignore them. And I'll go ahead, minimize this, and just browse to that zip file and just drag it, click on it, and drag it and drop it into this box location. Make sure it's within the box. And once it's uploaded, it will say completed. If it doesn't say completed, you won't be able to submit the ticket. But once it says completed, just select submit, and your ticket will be generated. So this is your ticket number. And so one of our agents should get back to you within 2 hours. If you don't hear back from us, you can always ask for an update. Just make a reply and select submit. If you went to our homepage and go back into our login to our homepage, and you don't really know where your ticket is, all you need to do is go to check existing requests, and you'll see your open ticket. And that's how you can look at replies. So you'll also see replies from the agents here. And you will also get an email to the email address that you use to log into the site. So we'll go back to the PowerPoint here. So next thing we'll talk about is missing symbols. So a lot of the times users notice that their SolidWorks, their drawings, their symbols for some reason don't show up. Let me just bring up my SolidWorks. So you noticed how here it says mod dash diam. Usually there is a degree symbol there. So, and this issue is usually, well, it's caused by missing symbol library file. SolidWorks uses a symbol library file stored on your system to pull these symbol values, and a new installation can delete this file from that old folder location, and you subsequently see this problem. The solution to this problem can actually search in our Hawkridge systems knowledge base. If you go back to our website and you just type in mod-diam, you'll see that there is an article for that issue. And if for some reason this solution does not work for you, or you have questions about the solution, a quick way to get in touch with us is this chat option here. There is this chat with us option. Now, what I like to do is I like to send screenshots of my issue to, or I like it when customers send us screenshots of their issues. So one quick way to do that is use the Microsoft snipping tool. So if you search snip in your Windows search bar, the snipping tool will come up. You can take a quick screenshot of that issue and you can save this snip to your desktop. I'll save it there. And I'll go back to our website, select the chat with us option and just go, hello, I have this issue here. And you can go ahead, select options and send a file and just send that image over there and send it over. And somebody should get back to us about this. But I'll go ahead and show you guys the solution to this issue. So what's happening is if you go to Tools, Options, go to File Location, and change the Show Folders for option to Symbol Library File. Now you notice how my 2017 installation is using a 2016 folder. Now if I browse to that location, so the symbol library file is a gtool.sim file. So in this location, that file needs to exist. So I'll go over to my C drive. I'll go to Program Data. Found that so you guys see that better. Program Data, notice how it's a little slightly, that folder icon is slightly lighter than the rest. This means that the folder is a hidden folder. So I have my hidden folder shown right now, but if you don't see that program data folder, you can always show it by selecting the Organize button, going to Folder and Search options, select View, and select the option Show Hidden Files, Folders, and Drives. And just select OK, and you should be able to see that folder location. Now, so that folder location was under C, Program Data, SolidWorks, SolidWorks 2016, Lang, English. Now there should be a gtool.sim file here, but it's not here. And that's why we're getting that mod-diam symbol issue. Now I did notice that there was a SolidWorks 2017 folder in the SolidWorks folder location. So if I browse over there, go to Lang, English, I see that there is a gtool.sim file there. So the file location for that should be pointed to the 2017 folder instead of the 2016. So I'll go ahead and cancel out of there. Not showing up for some reason. I'll go ahead, go back to the location. Now select the Edit All option. This option allows me to manually type in the changes to the folder locations. So and I can do it to all of my files, file locations. So if I go to the symbol library file, see that here, I'm going to just click on uh, 2016 here, delete that and type in 2017. I'll select save, select OK, and now you notice how my dimensions are updated with the correct symbols. So that's one issue that can be seen with a new installation. And if you tend to use the copy settings wizard, a lot of the times you will see that problem if you do use the copy settings wizard. And we'll open up SolidWorks. We'll open up the part to show you another common issue seen with new installs of SolidWorks. So if I edit the sketch, I add a dimension, and I'll leave it at 40. But say for some reason I want to delete that dimension. If I select the dimension and select delete on my keyboard, it actually deletes that 40 value. And I'll click outside and it'll ask me to input a number in. But I actually just want to delete the dimension. This issue is caused by Instant 2D over here. Instant 2D allows you to quickly change dimension values within a sketch. So if you don't want that, just unclick it and you should be able to select the dimension and just select delete on your keyboard. And if for some reason you can't find Instant 2D on your computer, or on your toolbars, what you can do is select the down option here, select commands, and type in Instant 2D. And you can just unselect that option there. Exit that. Another common issue seen by users is if they select a face, they notice these arrows. And you can interactively change the model using these arrows. A lot of the users, if they're using complex designs, then that could be a hindrance to them. So what that is Instant 3D. So that's under features. And you can just go ahead and unclick that option. However, if you don't see it in any of your toolbars, just go ahead and type Instant 3D in the command search bar, and you should be able to just unselect it. And that's all for today's webinar. Let me go back to the other screen. So these are basically what we went over today. And here's a schedule of the upcoming session.